Project One is your professional communication portfolio. And this is where we'll begin putting some of the ideas for the first few weeks of what we're learning in the course actually into practice. One thing you'll notice immediately is that you're not writing one long paper for this project. Instead, you'll create several shorter pieces of professional communication. That's intentional. In workplace writing, you're often not producing a 5 to 10 page essay. Surprise, huh? You're writing an email, a memo, a response to someone, another kind of relatively short document. But shorter doesn't always mean easier. The challenge is making good decisions about who you're communicating with, what you need the communication to accomplish, and how you should communicate in that particular situation. If you look at the Project One guide, you'll see that your portfolio contains several pieces. So you will be creating a professional email, an internal memo, and a response message. You'll also complete your audience and tone planner and a final memo reflecting on and evaluating the choices you made throughout the project. Each of these documents gives you a slightly different professional communication situation. The goal isn't simply to prove that you know what an email or memo looks like. The more important goal is to show that you can adjust your communication based on the situation. This is probably the most important thing I want you to understand about Project One. There is no single professional tone that works in every situation. Sometimes students think professional writing means making everything sound super formal or replacing ordinary words with bigger words. That's not what we're looking for here. Imagine that you're emailing a supervisor to ask for approval on something. Now imagine you're responding to a customer or a client who's frustrated. Both messages should be professional, but they probably shouldn't sound exactly the same. Your relationship with the reader is different. Your purpose is different. What the reader needs from you is different. So throughout the project, I want you thinking about three things: audience, purpose, situation. Those three things should drive the choices you make about tone, organization, detail, and wording. This is also the first project where you'll use our planner system. Before you begin drafting, you'll make your own copy of the audience and tone planner and rename it according to the instructions here. So these are the instructions right here. Then you'll begin thinking through communication situations before you write. You will identify things like who your audience is, what you're trying to accomplish, what that audience needs from you, and what kind of tone is appropriate. Don't feel like you need to predict everything perfectly before you draft. Again, this is a working document. You might start writing the email and realize that your original idea about the tone doesn't quite work. Go back and adapt and update the planner. You might realize that your audience needs more context than you originally thought. Update the planner. That's exactly what it's for. When I'm evaluating Project One, I'm looking especially closely at a few things. First is audience awareness. Does the communication actually feel designed for the person who will receive it? Second is tone and professionalism. Does the tone fit the relationship and situation? Third is clarity and readability. Workplace readers are usually quite busy. They should be able to understand why you're contacting them and what they need to know without digging through unnecessary information. And finally, I'm looking for specificity and realism. Try to avoid writing workplace messages that sound like generic school assignments. Give yourself enough realistic context that the communication feels like something a person might actually send in a professional environment. You don't need to create the whole portfolio right now. Start with the audience and tone planner, and then use the work we're doing each week to develop individual documents. And remember, professional writing isn't about sounding fancy. It's about making intentional choices so that the right person receives the right information in the right way. That's the goal of Project One.